And we're back. We are back with the patient man, and I have got a subject I would love to talk about with OYO. Right, semaglutides, Ozempics, Wegovys, those sorts of amazing drugs. Now, this is a really big subject now. This is only going to get bigger, better, faster. It's going to get everything. Just as the world is, it's just going to get better. We're just churning through science at the moment, and we're finding ways to be able to help people with, severe obesity and really, really big issues with blood sugar problems, everything. So I find this subject really, really cool, and I want to talk about it quickly. Now, I'm not going to go into it scientifically. There's a lot of people, a lot of channels that try to break it down scientifically. I'm not interested in that. The part I'm interested in the most is the behaviour. So behaviour is behind, why. I've seen a lot of people who are on, who do take certain semaglutides, and the results are just astounding. Now, I'm so glad for that. I think it's one of the most amazing drugs out there as far as it is saving people. It's saving people. It's getting them to a position where they can make better choices and move forwards in life. And I'm sure there would be some absolute miracle stories out there of how this works. But unfortunately, there is a lot of flip side to this. And there is a case study that shows that 2/3 of the weight returns of people after stopping semaglutide. Now, that's a lot. And I've actually seen this in a lot of people too, who will take it, get great results, and then as soon as they get off it, we start to see that weight come back on and actually goes up and up and up and almost actually goes over their starting weight. So why? We don't really know. I think I've got my own opinion of this. Now, the part that breaks my heart the most with this amazing drug is that people, not only do they lose, and I think it's a really big educational problem with, I feel like there's a big gap in prescription of these drugs and also education of understanding that, yes, you might lose mass, and you lose adiposity, which is great due to, eating less and not feeling as hungry. But the education around muscle loss is it's quite poor, and a lot of people lose so much muscle. Now, majority of the people I know take this drug, they'd be in their mid-40s to 50s and 60s area. So losing muscle and losing really good quality muscle tissue at that age is extremely detrimental. To gain it back after that is so much harder than gaining it back when you're a teenager or in your mid-20s. It's really hard to do, And having that compiled with the fact and the fear of knowing that you're coming off your tool to lose weight is very scary. I would assume it'd be very, very scary. Now, I've never used any of these drugs. They're amazing. That's it, full stop. But there is a lot of things that come with it, and that's what worries me. And I want to talk about that. And I think, in my opinion, my personal opinion, lack of education is one with using Ozempic and with using Wegovy. And I genuinely, deeply believe I've seen this happen with behaviour. So we have a real problem with the reason why we have weight on sometimes, not always, there are other reasons, is our behaviours. Our behaviours around lack of movement, so sedentary behaviour, our behaviours around eating, emotional eating, not eating the right foods, not even eating right foods. You might have allergies to them, or you might have all sorts of things that make you feel horrible. There's so many things about that need to be, I think behaviours need to be worked on before taking that. This is my opinion. Because when you come back off something like that, you can almost stick with the same behaviour that's got you in there for 30 years. So you're at this position of having too much adiposity and being really, really unhealthy and having a lot of comorbidities. And you might be able to get that weight off with these drugs. But then on the flip side of that, unless your behaviours change, you're going to see that same stuff happen, and it's going to go back on again because you're doing the same thing and expecting a different outcome. Insanity. So I like talking about this because I see this a lot, and I'm going to be an EP in the next year or so, And this drug is going to be replicated 10,000 times and be better and better and better in the next probably 6 months. But by the time I'm finished, it's going to be one of the most prescribed drugs ever, and there's going to be new versions of it. But I do see the hole in it. I see the big problem of people not identifying the behaviours behind the scenes to help them move forwards. In university, we do this one thing, it's called the COM-B model. So I've learned about this in one of my subjects. It's compatibility, opportunity, motivation. So I would like to share this. I'd use this, right? So I'd use the capability part of it, the C. So I'd build the physical skill at lifting weights, walk daily, and prioritise recovery. Those are the really, really important things. Your sleeps, all that sorts of stuff. Making sure that you have a really good solid routine and make it realistic too, because a lot of routines get overcomplicated and then you can't stick to them. So adherence to certain things don't work. Opportunity, so reshape your environment, prep your meals, load your protein, get junk out of your reach. This is a really big one for me personally. If I don't have bad food in my house, I will never eat it. Full stop. It's just the way it is. I don't think about it. I don't want it. I don't dream about it. There's nothing about it I want. But if it's in the house, it's the first thing I go to. So I know myself, and I like to keep anything that I shouldn't have in the house out of the house. So and preparing meals is a really big one. Preparing meals gives you that comfort in your mind that you can stop yourself making that bad decision. So you can sort of build your impulse up with just not having to use it. You just go, I've got food there. I've got food there. It becomes a little bit less anxiety for you, less stress. Loading your protein, now, here nor there. I mean, loading your protein is amazing for your muscle loss, for sure, for taking semaglutides. But that comes with a really good and I believe rigorous, well thought out program to be able to teach you to use resistance training with a good diet to be able to keep as much muscle as you can on whilst you are doing said drug prescription and organising yourself and trying to lose weight. It's probably one of the most important things in my mind. And motivation. So we'll go back to this motivation. So tracking triggers, journals, reflecting to staying accountable, and joining a group. That's always really, really good. Don't feel like you're the only person doing this. We have a humongous problem with obesity and issues with overeating and issues with a lot of things. So don't ever feel like you're the only one in this world struggling with it. It's very common. It's too common, but it is what it is. I'm going to close it out now, and I really want to just make sure that everyone understands that when you use a semaglutide, it is actually a tool. It's one of the most amazing tools in the world. It is not a cure. It is something to help you to get there. It's something to give you that little leverage to be able to get you some momentum to whip you on down the road, to be able to help you for the rest of your life so you can go on and live in your own autonomy and make better choices and better decisions in life. It's not the cure. All right, don't forget that. That's the biggest one for me. And I want to make sure people talk about it. I want to talk about sarcopenia with it. I want to talk about that it is really important to keep doing resistance training. If you haven't done resistance training before, ask your GP or ask your doctor about it. They might, if you're curious to go on a semaglutide, fantastic, do as you please. But just make sure that when you do go in and you have a chat to your GP or your health professional, ask them what's the best way for them to. Can they refer you onto an EP? Can they refer you to an exercise scientist so you can get a good evidence-based selection of exercises to be able to have the best chance to be able to keep as much muscle on as possible. So then when you do come off it one day, and you will have to come off it one day, that you have the best chance to have that energy, you have the muscle mass still there, and you're not starting backwards. You're giving yourself a better baseline. So I love this. I love these subjects. Like I said, I'm not going to whip up heaps of charts and scientific stuff. It's just I believe in my person that I believe the psychology and the behaviour behind rebounding of weight is a really big issue, and I'd love to see humans, as we are, take some responsibility. When you go to your GP and you want to lose that weight, take accountability and work on the steps to get to where you want to get to. I believe that you can do it, and I believe you can get off it and live autonomously in this world beautifully and peacefully. But you've got to put the work in. Much love. Let's go.